discuss Vammika Sutta, Discourse on the Anthill. Thus have I heard. At one time the Lord was staying near Savatthi in the Jethas group in Anathapindika's monastery. Now at that time the Venerable Kumara Kashyapa was staying in the blind men's grove. Then when the night was far spent, a certain Deva with glorious skin, having illuminated the whole of the blind men's grove, approached the Venerable Kumara Kashyapa, and having approached, stood at one side. While standing at one side, this Deva spoke thus to the Venerable Kumara Kashyapa: Monk, monk, this anthill smokes by night, blazes up by day. A Brahman speaks thus: bringing a tool, clever one, dig it up. The clever one, digging when he had brought a tool, saw a bolt and said, a bolt, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the bolt, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a frog. He said, a frog, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the frog, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a forked path, and said, a forked path. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the forked path, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a strain, and said, a strain, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the strain, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a tortoise, and said, a tortoise, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the tortoise, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a slaughterhouse, and said, a slaughterhouse, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the slaughterhouse, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a piece of flesh, and said, a piece of flesh, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: take out the piece of flesh, dig on, clever one, bringing a tool. The clever one, digging on when he had brought a tool, saw a cobra, and said, a cobra, revered one. The Brahman spoke thus: let the cobra be. Do not touch the cobra. Do reverence to the cobra. If you, monk, having approached the Lord, were to ask him about these questions, then you could remember as the Lord explains to you. I, monk, do not see anyone in the world with its devas, with its maras, with its brahmas, in creation, with its recluses and brahmins, its devas and men, who could turn his mind to expounding these questions except a Tathagata, or a Tathagata's disciple, or one who has heard the teaching from them. Thus spoke that Deva, and vanished then and there, having said this. Then the Venerable Kumara Kashyapa approached the Lord towards the end of that night. Having approached, having greeted the Lord, he sat down at a respectful distance. As he was sitting down at a respectful distance, the Venerable Kumara Kashyapa spoke thus to the Lord, and Venerable Kumara Kashyapa was explaining what happened that night about that Deva coming and telling this one. And having said this one, then the Venerable Kumara Kashyapa is asking these questions from Buddha. Now, Lord, what is this anthill? What is smoking by night? And what is blazing up by day? Who is the Brahman? Who is the clever one? What is the tool? What the digging up? What the bolt? What the frog? What the forked path? What the strain? What the tortoise? What the slaughterhouse? What the piece of flesh? What the cobra? Then Buddha answered, the anthill, monk, this is a synonym for the body made of the four great elements, originated from mother and father, nourished on gruel and sour milk, upon nature, to be constantly rubbed away, pondered away, broken up and scattered. So Buddha is talking about that anthill is the synonym for the body made from these four great elements. So that one is marked in this particular diagram. You see next to the birth, the four great elements are written here. And then we were talking about an anthill. Now you can see there is an anthill in this diagram in the bottom. How do we get this anthill? So you can see this line, horse feet, frivolous talks and slander. So that is the base of this pyramid. So if you draw four lines to those four, starting from the coveting and greed, then we get this sort of pyramid down below. And inside the pyramid you can see there's another pyramid marked in red. And that is this, from the body type of misapprehension, you draw four lines to the line, horse feet, slander and frivolous talk. So then you get this pyramid. What this one actually showing you is the two types of persons, the temperament of this person. This is the first one is the craving type person, and this one inside this red one, it is that view type person, view temperament. So when people have got these strong views, then this one becomes swollen, and then it comes up to this coveting and greed level over here. For those people, if you ask a question from them, and when you talk about this self, what is self, they will normally answer this everything: the form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. But if you ask sort of this craving temperament person, then that particular person would be saying it is one of them, either the form or the feeling. The other person actually take all of them. So it is sort of difficult to treat, when they have these strong views, but there are this medicine that they should develop concentration. So when they develop concentration and see fast births and then see that I was an ant before and so on, so then this, the soul and thing will go down so that they can be taken out. And then Buddha said, whatever monk one thinks upon and ponders upon during the night, concealing in the day's affairs, this is smoking by night. And again, whatever affairs monk one sets going by day, whether body, speech or thought, having pondered and reflected upon them during the night, this is blazing up by day. That is us, isn't it? We go to bed, we are going to the bed to sleep, but now you are thinking, I have to take this food to the temple, I have to make sandwiches for children and so on. So you are not sleeping and thinking about the things that you have to do. And the next day comes, now you are saying my head is, blazing in the sense that I have to do this, I have to do that and so on. So that is this blazing up by day. Brahman monk, this is a synonym for the Tathagata, perfected one, fully self-awakened one. The clever one monk, this is a synonym for a monk who is a learner. So the learner is that who has attained first, second, third and stage of sainthood. He is Sovan, the stream mentor, once return, never return. And then he has got the first stage of the Arahantship. That is this, he got the path, with someone got the fruit, and also that he has destroyed cankers, then he is not a learner. So that is this definition over here. The true monk, this is a synonym for RN, intuitive wisdom. So we have mark the wisdom over here as the tool. Digging monk, this is a synonym for effort. Effort is not marked here. The bold monk, this is a synonym for ignorance. So we have written the bolt over here. Take out the bolt, get rid of the ignorance, dig clever one, bringing a tool. This is the meaning of that. So this bolt we are talking about over here is not normally the bolt that we use in these houses, modern day houses. Here we are talking about, if you have seen those kitchens in old days, there is some sort of a rod, the door bar, locking three places. So that's sort of a bolt we are talking about. So a person's mind that who has not attained, there is a door over here, door bar, which I can actually, how does this doba come to arise? You see, with the physical nutriment you spin with the barb of lust, then it's generating a wave and going to the right side, and then this barb of delusion pick it up and it is spinning this one from this side. So it generates another wave going to the left side. So it's like two waves coming and then colliding at one instance. Like, if you have a pond, a still pond, and you put some sort of a stone, then the wave is going to the other side and then hitting the wall and coming back. And then when they are meeting, then there is something, like in the sea, you can see the one wave comes, another wave comes, then you can see the white star. So this can be shown in a diagram, and this diagram was constructed to discuss this Vammika Sutta. And so you can see there is this bar over here, and there is this self, and then you get this body type of misapprehension, and there is this doubt. So you can see this 1.3 moha means that this ignorance. So ignorance is now linking three places, like a dough bar link the two parts of the dough as well as the middle one. So there is this dough bar created. And normally in the kitchen you have the doors opening like this, but this door we are talking about like in a saloon. It is in the middle and bolted to this body type of misapprehension. So further, if I am explaining this dough bar, that you can see there is this perception and there is the sort of a line in marking over here, eye making, going towards the consciousness. That's one line, so we mark it as stick one. And then there is this another line you can see starting from this side, contact as nutriment, coming to the feeling and going to the mental volition. So that is another one. So that is stick 2. So you are spinning with barb of lust means that you are holding from this end of the stick and then taking it to the left side. And you are spinning with barb of delusion means you are holding from the volition side of the stick 2, and taking it to the right side. So those sticks like here, then you can see it comes and lock, because this locking part is over here. So this is the one shown over here, then it is locked. When it got locked, then it turns 90 degrees, because the covetousness on the left side of the diagram will go and join with the mental volition. And when they become together, then you get the dough bar coming over here, that the perception of self and the misapprehension, and then there is this doubt. So it is created. Now there is a problem. The problem is, when you look from the left side, on the physical nutriment side, you would not see the consciousness. If you see from the consciousness side, you can't see the physical nutriment, because there is a cupboard in between. So what Buddha said in that discourse is that you take the bolt, the ignorance. When you remove the ignorance, then this dough bar will vanish. So this, how do you remove the bolt? From your wisdom. Remember, we meditated that these are the 4 great elements. So element of extension, outside, that is extreme, and inside also extreme, that is element of extension. The outside one is not yours, so the inside one is not yours. So when you remove like that one, you cleanse your mind from all those 4 elements of extension, then the dough bar is gone. And then you attain. You become a person who attained to the first stage of sainthood, where you get rid of this self thing, and as well as misapprehension and the doubt. You see, you only remove the bolt, the dough bar. The dough is still remaining. So what will happen? Since this bolt is no longer there, the dough will swing. So from the eye of the wisdom, now see this fellow over here, toad. That is the anger and despair. So that is the one mentioned next. It says the toad monk, this is a synonym for the anger and despair. Take out the toad, get rid of anger and despair, dig clever one, bringing a toad. This is the meaning of that. So here it's actually, when you talk about this toad, it's just like one expanding, with the breathing. You have seen that? Yeah, so when you get angry, you become, blow out with your body. And so this one is the one, that we were looking at in the Anthill Sutta, the seventh one, anger and despair. After seventh round, then you go to payasa, you come up to that particular one, anger. Because you see that you are angry all the time. People don't actually see this one normally. It was one time that after some sort of a understanding about Buddhism, that there were some people going, walking with me. And to those people I said that human beings, living beings are angry all the time. That's how they live. They did not understand at that particular time. You see, what's the problem? Problem is, when you are affected by something, bad misfortune type thing, what Buddha said is that you beat the breast, and then you look for some sort of a happiness. In your office, when people got stressed, what they do? I need chocolate, I need chocolate, I need coffee. They run for that machine. They think this is the only way that I can get rid of this suffering. They think that is the way to do that. And so they go for coffee and chocolate. So in other words, what they are looking for, some sort of sensual pleasure to get rid of the problem, they have it in their hand. So what is actually increasing? Then the lust. Because that you are looking for sensual pleasures, lust will increase. And then they do not know that the arising and the passing away phenomena, therefore ignorance come to arise. Because the tendency to attachment lies latent in pleasurable feeling. And tendency to aversion lies latent in displeasure feeling. Tendency to ignorance lies latent in neither pleasurable nor non-pleasurable feeling. So those tendencies will occur. And I can tell you, in Australia, there was a Sri Lankan couple, very educated person. And his wife died. And then I went to that funeral. He was very upset, walking up and down. And then he was asking me, what shall we do? Can I play a song? So I said that is not good. So that's the only thing he knows. He thinks that, I'm now affected by this, death of my wife. So let me play a song and then sort of get out of this one. So that is how the normal person sort of do. But the person who removed this ball, he knows that the number 7 in Anthill Sutta, that means whatever way I try to live, I can't live. So because I want to live, that I cannot live, and then therefore this anger and despair is there. So in that case, remember our example was putting a fruit over here and spinning, isn't it? So you can't live from the fruit. In other words, if I go for any other realm, going to the Brahma world and going to Jhana, still I can't live because I will fall away from that particular position. So what can I do? The only thing you can do is not to take anything apart from the Nibbana. If you take something apart from the Nibbana, then you get this anger and despair. So you remove that one. So that is the answer. That is the meditation at that particular time. I'm not going to take anything apart from the Nibbana. Otherwise, I will have this Anthill Sutta 7, rounds, and then I come up to this particular level. And then Buddha said the fourth path, monk, this is a synonym for a doubt. So now the doubt is coming back for the second time, isn't it? That is the fourth path. You see, a little while ago, Buddha said that you got rid of the doubt. When you are actually breaking your identity view, that this self and the misapprehension and the doubt, then you got rid of the doubt. But Buddha is saying now it is coming back. Why is it that Buddha is saying that? This doubt is different. This doubt is different to what you had before. Previously you had the doubt, before you attain, you had the doubt whether Buddha is enlightened, whether Eightfold Path is right or not. Now after the attainment you stamp, you say Eightfold Path is right. But now your question is, how do I meditate? How do I use the Eightfold Path so that I can go further? So the answer for that one would be to ask someone who knows about it. How can I meditate? See, this doubt is fivefold. This doubt is fivefold because the stinginess over here is fivefold. Well, I didn't have any space to write down this is the stinginess regarding the gain. So you might write down over here, stinginess regarding the gain over here. And then this is the line from the coveting and greed to feeling. That is the stinginess regarding gain. And the other ones have been marked over here. Stinginess regarding dwelling is written between birth and the feeling. And then the stinginess regarding family is written over here. So we can see we have chosen a good family, isn't it? Look at what? It is ending with aging. So that the aging family is the one that we have picked up. And then the stinginess regarding reputation is written between feeling and the body type of misapprehension. And then the stinginess regarding doctrine is written on this line, feeling to mental volition. So that is your method, isn't it? Climbing up the tree, for example. So since this is fivefold, the doubt becomes fivefold. If I take an example, stinginess regarding gain, let us say you buy something from the stock market collapse. You do not, when you buy that one, you do not know whether this one is going up or down. So there is this doubt. And regarding the second one, stinginess regarding dwelling, you can see when you die, you do not know whether you are going to get a beautiful form in the future, next birth or not. So there is a doubt regarding that one. So similarly other ones. And Sampati Mahabrahma said everything to the right side of this mental volition become fivefold as well. For example, line become fivefold. Let us take an example. Let us say that for the gain, stinginess regarding the gain, people lie because of that gain. Or else, let us take another example, stinginess regarding reputation. Let us say you are working and you are fired from your job, and then somehow you find another job. And then somebody is asking, are you still working in that place? No, I left that place, now I am working in this one. You are not saying that I am fired, because it's not good for your, performance, isn't it? Less performance. So then there is this lying over there. So for the doubt, the solution would be to ask someone who knows about him and get rid of that one. And then the take out the forked, get rid of the doubt, declare one, bringing it to, this is the meaning of that. The strainer monk, this is a synonym for the five hindrances. So the five hindrances are sensual desires, and then the ill will, and then the sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and doubt, which is marked over here. Sensual desire, the ill will, the sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry. So this the sensual desire we learned first day with the Untitled Sutta. We were talking about that someone the table is broken and went to the wood place. They are selling wood pieces. You got it cheaper, and you want the carpenter to construct a table for you. And we can learn a little bit more about the sensual desire today. And first, You know that the sensual desire we are talking about is something to do with your thought, and whatever the plans that you have, whatever the lust you have for that thought is the one that actually making this sensual desires over here. And there is a discourse called Kaya Sutta in connected discourses of the Buddha. It says there are the nutriment for hindrances. And Buddha said, Bhikkhu, just as this body sustained by nutriment subsists in dependence on nutriment and does not subsist without nutriment, so too the five hindrances sustained by nutriment subsist in dependence on nutriment and do not subsist without nutriment. And what bhikkhu is the nutriment for the arising of unarising sensual desire and for the increase and expansion of arising sensual desire. There is bhikkhu the sign of the beautiful. Frequently giving careless attention to it is the nutriment for the arising of unarising sensual desire and for the increase and expansion of arising sensual desire. You see, there is this sign of beautiful, and then you have the frequently giving careless attention. What is this sign of beautiful? It's a beautiful person, beautiful thing that you think, maybe a food, maybe a person. Giving careless attention. The careless attention is unwise attention. That means you are actually thinking that this person has a beauty. And we learn what is inside this person's body is the hair of the body, nails, skin, flesh. That all those bad things is the impurities, saliva, snot, urine and so on. But now you are actually thinking beautiful. What you are saying is excrement is beautiful. That's what it is in the nutshell. So that is your careless attention. By doing that one, unarising sensual desire come to arise. The arising one increase. Whenever you think about sensual desire, it is not going to go away. It is becoming more and more. So there is that is how the sensual desire come to arise. So you learn one way. And there is another discourse that is actually called Anthill Sutta. Over there, Buddha says the anicca bhikkave kama. That means the sensual things or the joy that is impermanent. Enjoyment is impermanent. And then Buddha says tucca. That means it is hollow. There is nothing inside it. And then Buddha says anicca bhikkave kama tucca. Musa mosa dhamma. That means, remember we were looking at the determination for truth. The opposite of that one. That you are actually thinking that like the worm in the cow dung will live. That sort of a thing. Maya katametam. That means it is made from some sort of illusion. And balalapana. That is occurring from, stupid persons, person's words. That ignorant person is the one making most of your most of the time go into this sensual desire thing. One good example is when I was in the uni, I was talking to one of my friends. That friend today he is a monk. So there was another friend who came to me, to us, and then he started admiring a part of a woman. What I'm trying to say over here is that there may be a small child, maybe 10 or 15, 10 or 12 years old. In this life, he might not have thought about those things. And then someone in that class, sort of matured fellow, or a person in a senior class comes and then say that sort of a thing to him. Now this little fellow now want to check whether what he said is right, correct. And then he looks. When he looks, his consciousness gets established in those body parts. If the consciousness gets established, then the name and form, and then down to the existence and the birth. So that will occur. So he did not have this sensual desire. It was created by this foolish person. This foolish person is coming to you sometimes, by means of, doing a meritorious deed as well. Sometimes, let's say that you are not watching drama or TV and stay and meditating in your house. And then someone is coming with a book, the ticket book, is saying that we are selling these tickets for help in the temple and we are actually showing a drama. Please come and watch. Now you actually think, okay, so then the monk has actually approved this one as well. And then help in the temple is meritorious thing. So let me buy the ticket. You buy the ticket and then you go. And then, disgusting thing, all the bad things are shown to you. And then you did not have this thing, then it was created for you. So that is how this ignorant person taking you to that sort of thing. So you have to be careful. When your people talk about, try to persuade you to do things, and what they are trying to do, put into their boat, sensual desire boat. That's what they are trying to do. And again, we can explain this sensual desire in another way. And this is very most important way to explain it. You see, I have eaten a particular type of curry when I was very small. Today, if someone is making the same thing, then I am actually saying, in my mind, I am saying the one that I have eaten that day was the best. So that is my memories and intentions about that curry. So it is called Sarasankappa in Pali, memories and intentions. That is recorded in this particular area. See the birth, the feeling, and aging. So that is the place to, if you are denoting these memories and intentions, that is the place. And when I eat today, what I am getting can be represented using this coveting and greed, the feeling and birth. And these two areas are never matching. They are two different things. Because when you were small, aging is over here and the birth was next to this coveting and greed. Now it has expanded. Now they are not matching. So this is what I want and this is what I get. So there is a difference between the two. So then when you have that one, what do you think? You always think you can fix it. Like your table, your chair is broken in your house, your husband is thinking, I can fix it. He put another wood piece or something like that one, but he can never fix it. Because the aging is aging. I mean, your things are gone. How can you can put a wheel inside, because if you are getting a heart problem or something to do that one, but still somewhere else it will crop up. So you can't fix it. Or else sometimes when you eat food, when it is not tasty as before, you think, if I can have this sauce, then I can fix this one. So you keep the sauce in your mind and you still eat the same thing and it won't fix. So sensual desire is that you establish your mind thinking that you can fix it. You cannot fix it, but you establish. So that is sensual desire. This occurred after 2 rounds. The first round, that you are eating something, and the second round you are bringing what you had before, your memories and intentions about this one. That curry was really good that day. So then there is a gap. So in other words, you are compensating. The mind would compensate thinking that I can fix. That is sensual desire. So what is the medicine for this sensual desire? The medicine is that you meditation about 32 parts of the body. You think they are hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, and so on. And so that will take out your sensual desire. And next we have this ill will. So the ill will, remember we were talking about that having seen someone, you are saying let this guy be dead, that sort of thing. And the same discourse, the Kaya Sutta, explain this one, how does ill will come to arise. And it says at what bhikkhu is the nutriment for the arising of unarising ill will. and for the increase and expansion of arising ill will. There is bhikkhu, the sign of the repulsive, frequently giving careless attention to it, is the nutriment for the arising of unarising ill will and the increase and expansion of the arising ill will. Now here we are talking about the sign of the repulsive. For the sign of the repulsive, people normally take the stone on the road, then you hit the rock, that sort of thing. But it is not good enough. My grandfather was getting angry. Why was he getting angry? Because his taste buds are gone, he can't get that previous feeling. Because of that, this thing is gone. The careless attention. He is actually thinking, if the people in the house, if they, put this sort of things, then I can eat better because they are not doing their job right. That's what they are actually thinking. In other words, he is thinking that by continuous contact about this food, I can get out of this one. We are talking about the permanency here. So if we understand that it is not permanent, taste buds are gone, wind gone, then I can't fix it ever. So this is after the sensual desire. You are spinning further, thinking if they put something, he was referring to certain things, the mustard and something you need to put onto this curry so that you can actually get this one. So that means he is fixing his mind, thinking that it is possible to fix it. You cannot fix it. So you are spinning further and then you get the ill will. What is the answer for this ill will? One way is that if you really understand the impermanent nature, you can get rid of it. So the medicine would be the real medicine. That means the metta, loving kindness. Remember, if the harm has come to you because of that your foolishness in the past, that delusion created this sexual misconduct, and you have this body now. So everybody got this harm due to the form, and so the solution would be to spread the loving kindness to all the others who were subject to the same thing, so that your ill will be gone. I mean, my grandfather could have eaten those food with the happiness. Because if you leave out that, shouting and blaming the others, the same food, he shout and eat the same thing. Without shouting, also eat the same thing. So what's the difference? So, next one is the sloth and torpor. The sloth and torpor is the sickness of the mind and the sickness of the mental state. So that means your things like these perceptions, feelings, they are sick, as well as your mind is sick. So the person who is subject to the sloth and torpor, he is like a person who is paralyzed. He doesn't want to move. The small children, they are not studying sometimes, they're playing games and so on. They don't feel like going out of that one. It's like a paralyzed person and do that one because he was subject to the sensual pleasures. So this is stemming from this sensual desire. The sensual desire, you have the physical nutriment, you spin 2 rounds and you got the sensual desire. You thought that I can fix this one. And then having something in your mind like a source or something, you keep on spinning. Then you got the ill will. And then you spin further, then you get the sloth and torpor. In the 8th round, the sloth and torpor actually enter your mind. With the 6th round, it is actually arising, although it is not entering the mind. But after the 8th round, it is actually there with you. So, what is the solution for this one? The meditation for this one, to get rid of. That what you need to do is to use 2 things. There 2 things are, one, you get the effort. The effort we were talking about, discarding the sensual thought, ill thought and harming thought. And so you got to have those effort. And then the next medicine is that the pursue light. You need to pursue light. Sometimes the mistake that people do when they sort of learn the discourse or something, they have the light, and then by the time they start the meditation, they switch off the light. So what will happen? then this person is now going to sleep. So don't do that mistake. So leave the light over there. When the light is there, you won't feel like sleeping. I mean, these techniques has been used even in the jail as well. In the jail, when let us say you go to some sort of a robber captured and he's in jail, but later on they find out this person has done another one. So then they go and ask him, he's not answering. So what they do? They put a very strong light to his room. So this person can't sleep. So the next day, when they ask, they answer. So that sort of thing. All the decisions that you have taken in your life, you have taken that one when you have the sloth and torpor. And the decision was taken by the delusion. From your stupid mind at that time, you took the decision, the sloth and torpor time. The one good example is, people over here, they don't live in one house for a long time. They live there for about 3 or 4 years and then they want to move out and to go to another house. So what do? So they take the Saturday, Sunday paper on the internet and then they go for hunting these houses. Go to the first house and look at them. Then they say this is not north facing. The next one they say this kitchen is small. The third one, the garden is small. They will come up with something because nothing is fitting, isn't it? So now Saturday, Sunday, they go for this house hunting and the Monday to Friday they go to work. Now, after seeing these 60, 70 houses, they are fed up because no weekends now. Only the work and the house hunting. So what do they say? Now they are in the sloth and torpor situation now. They are sick. I'm sick of looking for these houses sort of scenario. And then they say, oh, it's okay, that kitchen is small, I will fix it. So let's buy that one. I will live with it. So you came to this sloth and torpor scenario, sickness of the mind and sickness of the mental state. And from the delusion, took the decision. All the decisions you have taken, including that you are selecting your husband, wife, and so on. Those are also included. Why? Because you see, when you are selecting the husband or wife, you didn't look with the light. You look at with the sort of a dark thing. If you actually put the light and sort of see the hand, then you can see how this, the hair of the body and all those things, crappy things are there. You wouldn't take it. So what are we talking about here? Is actually these parts that you can go for spiritual power. That from the light you see the aging. So without the light you don't see the aging. So the aging was not seen. Therefore you have taken it. The sick perceptions were taken. That's what it is. So the answer for this one is the you got to have the effort as well as the light, perception of light. When you feel like sleepy, that when you are meditating, just think about the light. The light that you have seen outside when it was very sunny. When I was walking, I saw this bright light and so on. Just perceive that, and then the sleepiness will go. And then the next one is the restlessness. When you have the restlessness and worry normally put together, but you can split it like this one. The restlessness is it's like a balloon you put on the floor and it is shaking all the time with the wind and so on, and your mind is not getting settled on. For the restless and worry to occur, there are two conditions, and it has a cause as well. And the condition is that one is the lust-provoking delight is one condition. And the second one is the gratifying faculty. Lust-provoking delight and then the gratifying faculty. But they are actually producing two types of restlessness. And I will give you a couple of examples to know this one. For the restlessness, when you are talking about lust-provoking delight, that let us say there is a slave, and to that slave his master is saying in that particular place that a singer is singing songs. You go there and you arrange chairs. But if you neglect, arranging chairs and you listen to songs, then I will kill you. So this slave is going to that place and then he can hear these songs, but he is now starting, arranging chairs. And you do one row or two rows, and then he can hear these songs. So he put his hand on top of the chair and just listen to that song. And then that this one is catching his ear. But then he remembered his boss said, master said that if you listen to song, I will kill you. So now he listen to the song and arrange in the chair. While arranging the chair, because his mind was arrested by that the song, now it's going there. So you can see it is one time it is to the arrangement of the chairs, the other one it is going to the song. So the mind is wobbling here and there. So that is the restlessness due to lust-provoking delight. And the other example for the gratifying faculty is, you see, when you come to do this meditation, yesterday you did a last meditation, was a really good one, isn't it? The Dadatu Punyam Pavadati. And so some people went to this spaces infinite level and or beyond that one, and it was really great at that time. So then some people stop over there, not going forward. Why is that? You come over here to go to Nibbana, but there was this gratification of that space is infinite, that light is seen, and then you are looking at the light and think this one. It is like that you want to go to see, some sort of a nice garden somewhere far away, and then halfway through that you see because you are tired, you see a small garden, and then you are having a cup of tea and then looking at these rose flowers and the other ones are there and so on. So, and then you check your clock and you think, can I go to that actual garden that I was aiming to go before this afternoon? So, in other words, what we are talking about, that big garden we are talking about is Nibbana. It is actually not a garden, but that is the analogy I can give you. So, you want to go to Nibbana, but halfway through you went to the space is infinite, consciousness is finite, high level of concentration, and you are hauled into that one. So then again, you are worried, can I actually attain Nibbana before the death? Because I am holding to this concentration. So that is this restlessness coming. So what is the solution for the restlessness? If you take anything apart from the Nibbana, you get the problem. So first, in the case of that slave example, now slave, that person is sort of a sick person in that case, because you need to lift him up. So you do some sort of a contemplation about these 32 parts or the skeleton meditation, and then you are going into the jhana concentration. Now you get the second problem, that if I hold into this jhana concentration, then I won't be at any Nibbana. I am towards that one, but I am not there yet. So then at that particular point, what you need to think, what I want is Nibbana, nothing else. So you can see the number 4 and the restlessness, the final solution would be not to take anything apart from the Nibbana. So that is this the answer for the restlessness. That is how you do the meditation. And then we have the worry. The worry is that removes all the evil things that you have done, or the removes all the good things, wholesome things that you could not do. So the worry is in that case defined in that way. The removes all the evil things that you have done, or the removes all the wholesome things that you could not achieve. So let us give a small example to learn this one, that removes all the things you could not achieve. Let us say that you have to do an exam. So you learn, you study very well for the exam, prepare yourself. And then you go to exam and then there were 5 questions. You answered 3 and another 2 to go. But you check the clock, no time. But you know very well how to answer the questions because you prepared very well. Now the remorse comes over there, the worry, that sort of thing. And in English it's explained very well. It says state of wondering what to do. At that particular time, that's what you are thinking. Will I pass the exam? So now what I'm going to do, am I going to follow another course or something? State of wondering what to do. And there is this remorse over the evil things that you have done. So what is that? Let us say, although that this Lalit is saying that there are worms in the garden, then one may be thinking, is the worm always there in my garden in this particular spot? Let me dig. So you dig. And then the worm, cutting into 2 parts and it is dying and so on. So then you are actually upset about it. Oh, what did I do this? I killed this little thing. So next day morning you going to do the meditation. You are saying this, I would refrain from killing breathing things. Anatipata. As soon as you said this one, this incident come to your mind. It's always it's coming. It's like a snake, biting you all the time. Cannot escape easily. So at that particular time, you need to take a good decision. The decision is, I did this one. It happened for me. And I will not do that one again. So although you take that decision, you are firm on it. The second time also it is coming back. So then you need to reaffirm in the sense that you need to recall to your mind, I did this one and it is wrong. I took the decision not to do it. And even if you are actually thinking that tomorrow also I am going to dig them and plant, the consciousness is aware of that one. So your mind won't get concentrated. It is keep on biting you until you take the firm decision. And 3 times it is coming, 3 times you remind to your mind and then you can get rid of it. It's very hard when you have this worry. So the worry has got this condition as well. The condition is that for the arising of worry is that unfulfilled knowledge, lack of knowledge. For that one, I can give you 2 examples. In the Buddha's time, that a monk received a drink. He did not want to drink it, so he passed that on to his colleague, another monk. That monk drank it and he died. So then the monk who gave that drink wanted to clarify from the Buddha, was there any problem for me because of this act that he did? So he went and asked the Buddha. Then Buddha asked him, did you know that it is poison? And then that monk said, no, I did not know. Then Buddha said, there's no problem in that particular case, no effect from that karma. So you normally jump into conclusion, if I do not know, then that is fine. But even in a society here, even in a court, that is not an excuse. Not knowing is not an excuse. So for that one, there is another, the discourse or another part, that in the Buddha's time, a monk went to a house and there was a white cloth laid on the top of the seat, and he did not ask and he sat down. Underneath that cloth was a baby. Because of the weight of the monk, that baby died. And then this time this monk went and asked Buddha, was there any problem because of this act that I did? Buddha said, yes. Monk, you should have asked first. You see, if that monk asked the monk, and then the monk would be saying, don't sit down, my baby is underneath that one. So in other words, we should be preventing what we can prevent. So this is the unfulfilled knowledge, isn't it? So some of you did not know that there are worms underneath this, the soil. So I just said it. So the unfulfilled knowledge, when it is filled, then you can see that you can prevent digging. So that is the way to get rid of this worry. And then we have this doubt. This doubt, it is coming for the third time. This one is now actually in a higher level in the sense, this is a time where one would be destroying these cankers, taints. For you to get rid of this doubt at this particular point, you need to know the arising phenomena of doubt. The arising phenomena of doubt are two over here at that particular point. That is one, sloth and torpor. The other one is the worry. So now, to get rid of this one, you need to analyze backward. In the sense, how do I get the doubt? Because after the sloth and torpor, I have been spinning without stopping. How do I get the sloth and torpor? Because after the ill will, I have been spinning without stopping. How do I get the ill will? Because after the sensual desire, I have been spinning, thinking that I can fix it. And how do I get the sensual desire? Because of the physical nutriment. Because I ate something and then I am actually thinking about the past one that I used to eat. And therefore I am comparing and I was thinking I can fix it. So the physical nutriment was the problem. So the blame goes to physical nutriment. The backward analysis is very powerful compared to the forward analysis. You see, you come to doubt because after the physical nutriment you spin. After sensual desire you spin, you get the ill will. And further spinning, sloth and torpor. Further spinning, you get this restlessness, worry as well as the doubt. So you're going backward. So again then you can analyze the worry path. The doubt come to arise because of the worry. So then how come the worry come to arise? One path is sloth and torpor. From the sloth and torpor you get worry. But the worry analysis is a little bit difficult because there are 12 factors contributing to that one. One is this derogation. One is your identity view. One is that you do this lying, harsh speech, slander, frivolous talks, that sort of thing. On the other hand, union with displeasing things is also a condition for this worry. Worry would come to arise. One good example is that you are going to a wedding here in Australia. These days, your name is written down on a piece of paper that you should be sitting down with these other people at that particular table. So you sit down over there, let's say you are a meditator, and around you all the people are drinking alcohol and you are the only one not drinking alcohol. So you are not like this smell of the alcohol even. So you look right side, then you can see there's another table. All the people who are doing the meditation, they are there, they are not drinking alcohol. Now what do you get now? Well, I should have been in that table. Because union with displeasing people led to the worry. The thing that you could not achieve. Remorse over the good thing that you could not achieve. So this one is difficult. But at least one way, that is this looking at the sloth and torpor part, or the worry and the sloth and torpor part. So that is good enough. So we get rid of this one. And then when you get rid of this strain, then it says that the tortoise monk, this is a synonym for the 5 grasping groups. So the tortoise now written over here in green. See the number 7. The physical nutriment, that is the form, and the feeling, and the perception, volitional formations, and the consciousness. So this 5, we have done a good meditation on that one, isn't it? This is the matter, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. That was the first meditation we did. So we were looking at the arising and passing away phenomena of that one. So on that first day I told you that only do the form and the feeling. And I was asking not to do the perception, but now your mind has developed. So now you can do the perception volitional formation and consciousness. How do you do that? First look at that meditation about this Dadutu Punyam Pavaditi, the excrement is not mine, urine is not mine, and so on. So some people went to the space is infinite level. So when you go there, if you seek delight in space is infinite, welcome it and remain wholly to that particular perception, what will happen? The delight come to arise. And then you get the clinging. As clinging as condition existence. Exists as condition birth. In other words, you will be born in space is infinite. So look at the other way around. If one is not going to seek delight in perception that space is infinite, does not welcome, does not remain whole into it, then the delight ceases. With the cessation of delight comes the cessation of clinging. The cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of existence. With the cessation of existence comes the cessation of birth. So the whole mass of suffering will end. Over there, you won't be born in space is infinite. So to do that meditation, you need to uplift. But now you are in the correct spot because you have get rid of these 5 hindrances. So your mind is in a very high state. So either you see the light or the space is infinite or that sort of level. And now you take that perception. If you have seen the light, contemplate about that one. This light is the 6th jhana level. So then you are saying that if I seek delight in this one, welcome it, what will happen? I will be born in 6th jhana. So the arising and passing, you can contemplate that way. So now you can see what they have given, the wording as the tortoise for this one. Why is it tortoise? What is the characteristic? It will live long, isn't it? 600 years or so that the tortoise will live. And also it is always hiding. When it is going, that it will take something, and this picture is look like a tortoise, isn't it? This is the mouth, and then you can see the body shape, the tortoise shape. It takes something and hide inside the shell. We are like that one, don't we? The husband and wife is going, and then you see a beautiful woman, and all of a sudden you grab that one and hide inside the shell. Some people are saying, no, I'm not doing that. One person said one day in a meditation session. But if you are saying that one, that means you are getting married to one woman every birth. But it is not. You are getting married to many in births. But I will tell you, it is disgusting to see your fast births. One time you are getting married to your mother. The next time your daughter. Next time your wife, and so on. So it is like dogs. That is, there are no rule. There are mother, daughter, and sort of scenario there. So that now we have learned the tortoise, we learn the medicine for that one, how to do the meditation, and you uplift your mind and contemplate the arising and passing away phenomena. When you get rid of that one, then the next one comes in. This is number 8. So the Slaughterhouse Monk, this is a synonym for the 5 strands for sensual pleasures. So here we are talking about material shapes cognizable by the eye, agreeable, pleasant, light, enticing, connected with sensual pleasures, alluring. Similarly, for sounds, smells, savors, and touches cognizable by the body, agreeable, pleasant, light, enticing, connected with sensual pleasures, and alluring. So here what we are talking about, you go to a slaughterhouse and take a sort of a meat, and then you chop it. So first you say this particular part you chop, that is the form that is good for the eye. You chop it again, the other part you are saying the sound is coming up when you are chopping, so that one is good for the ear. The another one you cut, then say this one smell, good for my nose. And the next one, the good for the tongue. And sometimes you say that the liver sort of thing is good for your body, like that one, that 5th part is for the body. So that is what we are talking about. And again, here we are talking about very high level of the meditation, because we have removed these things as well. But you see over here, because of the contact, I have these sensual pleasures. And with the cessation of that one, I do not get this one. So the answer is written over there, contact. With the contact, you get this one. With the cessation of contact, no these sensual pleasures from that one. And then Buddha said the piece of flesh, monk, this is a synonym for the passion of delight. So the passion of delight is written over here. Remember, delight is nandi, isn't it? That is, remember how do we learn about the delight? You take one bite and you get the feeling, and your consciousness is aware of the feeling, and then it died. Therefore, you mix up something and put it back, and it is dying, and again you regenerate it. So you take it long term: birth, aging, sickness, and death. Now, the death means death of consciousness. Now, what you want to do? You want to regenerate it. So that is your delight. That means to be born after death. That is the delight. But here we are talking about passion of delight. The passion of delight is that, this, when you get the identity view, that the pleasure is there in that identity view. And then whatever the lust for that one is the passion of delight in that case. But you don't need to go that far in this time when you are doing the first time. So how do I get rid of this one? You need to understand this birth to aging. If you understand that this aging thing, then you can get rid of delight. You see, it's not a little thing, this aging we are talking about. You normally perceive aging because of your body wrinkle and so on. It is not only for the body that there is aging. There is aging for your feeling, the aging for the perception, volitional formation and consciousness. They are all subject to aging, which we are not covering in this course. We are covering that one in an advanced course. So, if you understand aging thoroughly, then the delight will be gone. I mean, just imagine, you have this body now, and which is subject to aging. You used to have some pleasure because of the, food. You no longer have that pleasure. And you had the perception these things are good before, when you were having a good bite, when you were young or maybe small. But that perception is no longer. It is subject to aging as well. And now think about the thing that you are doing today to arrive at that one, to have that pleasure. You're doing these jobs and all those things. They have the aging as well. So now you can sort of understand from this point, but you can go further. So now we need to remove that one. And then when we remove that one, it says the Cobra Monk, this is a synonym for a monk whose cankers are destroyed. So at this particular point, and when you remove the flesh, then you become an arahant. So we have written down number 10 over here. But we should be writing that one on the top, isn't it? But we have written on the top, Sahampati Mahabrahma as the arahant over there. So what is Buddha is talking about over here? You see, in the previous meditation, the Anthill Sutta, what you are trying to do is that you are trying to stop this vehicle. Killing, stealing and all those things, breaking the vehicle, stopping it, no further running. What Buddha is talking about here, how to dismantle it, taking it piece by piece, removing it, no longer it is running. But you need to start the way Buddha described it. First, what you are doing, you look at the four great elements. So that means you are actually removing this line, this axle, going to the feeling, stinginess regarding dwelling. If you know the experiment, urine and all those things, they are not mine. Would you establish your consciousness on those things? So that the stinginess regarding doing is gone in that case. So use that meditation. The excrement outside is the element of extension. It is not mine. Excrements inside is the element of extension. The similar way, the hair of the body and so on, whatever the hard things in the world, the liquid things, and then the moving things and all those heat, you cleanse your mind. And then this bolt is removed. You got the wisdom that they are not mine. Therefore, this bolt is gone. Door bar is gone. When the door bar is gone, this wisdom, you can see this arising and passing also, the same wisdom. That the first meditation we did, the first day, the concentration meditation. So again, you can remove that one. So when the door bolt is removed, and then the door is swinging, so that you can see from the wisdom, eye of the wisdom, you can see there is this toad over here, anger and despair. You are angry all the time. We are sort of living in the sea. There is this place where these Coca-Cola bottles and all the shells and all those things, crappy things around, and you are there. Because in your body, excrement outside, excrement inside. So this anger and despair is there. So what was the solution for this? Don't take anything apart from the Nibbana. So when the toad is removed, then you get the doubt. So it is coming for the second time now. So what is the solution for that one? This doubt is because that you now admitting that Eightfold Path is right, Buddha is enlightened. But my problem is I do not know how to use Eightfold Path. So the solution is to ask someone who knows about it, so that you can actually meditate on that. So when the doubt is removed, then you get this sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness, worry and doubt again. It is coming for the third time. So the sensual desire, so what is the medicine over there? The meditation would be to think about these 32 parts of the body. Now aren't we actually seeing a problem here? Because we started in the 4 great elements. There we said the hair of the body, nails, teeth, all those things are not mine. Now we are doing that one again. Why is it? You see, by this particular time, you sort of got rid of the idea about the permanency to a certain extent. As I said before, the idea about the permanency will come back and reaffirm. When you look at somebody, you are saying this person is beautiful, although you think about the excrement, urine and so on. Why is it that it is happening? Because the permanency is coming and confirming the previous idea about the beauty, so that you cannot escape from this perception of beauty. But now, since you have done these 4 great elements, so therefore you are saying not self, because there was a bridge from the self to permanency. Now this bridge won't stand, therefore this permanency is gone. Now you are in a better position to see the excrement as excrement, the hair as hair. So therefore you can actually get rid of it. So this is a strong level of meditation. For the ill will, the answer would be to meditate on, have the metta, loving kindness, which you have done. For the sloth and torpor, there were 2 solutions, isn't it? One is effort, the other one is the perception of light. And then the restlessness that we were talking about, it can be because of the gratifying faculty, or it may be because of this lust-provoking delight. So if it is the case of this lust-provoking delight, what you need to do, you need to make that man, the sick man, stand up. So like the slave's example. So use something like the skeleton meditation or something, so that it is going to higher concentration. So when you go to the higher concentration, like space is infinite or something, now you think, this is not what I want. It is not the light that I want. What I want is the Nibbana. So again focus on the Nibbana, so the restlessness is gone. For the worry, we were discussing that the unfulfilled knowledge is the issue. So if the knowledge is fulfilled, then the worry will be gone. And the doubt. The doubt is at the higher level. Now here we are talking about the arising phenomena of doubt. How the doubt come to arise. One is sloth and torpor. The other one is worry. So you are analyzing backward. How can I get the doubt? Because of the sloth and torpor. How do I get the sloth and torpor? Because I was not stopping. When I get the ill will, I did not stop. I spin further. And how do I get the ill will? After the sensual desire, I thought, I can fix this. So I spin further. So how do I get the sensual desire? Having eaten one bite, you brought something stupidly from your, past memories and intentions. So that means because of the physical nutriment that I am getting this one. So if you analyze that way, then the doubt can be eliminated in that particular time. You see, these hindrances are actually making sort of a bridge. The sensual desire making a bridge that go from the physical nutriment to perception. It's supporting. And then the ill will actually making you go from the perception to mental volition, because that there is this the pleasure you actually, when you are talking about ill will, my grandfather is asking for his pleasure, the feeling that he used to have. And then this sloth and torpor is another support to go into over here to the consciousness. And then the restlessness, although it is marked over here, it is also supporting to go down. And this doubt will make you go from the taint of ignorance to taint of sensual desire. It is supporting in that way. So it is making a frame and making the picture, going this way. So the hindrances are really bad. So now when you get rid of the hindrances, then you see this tortoise. Then what is the medicine for that one? The arising and passing away phenomena, that perceptions, volitional formation and consciousness, you meditate on that one. The first day meditation that you did, now you apply to perceptions. One seek delight in perception, welcomes in, remain holding and so on. And when you remove this tortoise, then you get the chopping block. So the answer for that one is contact. So with the cessation of contact, there comes the cessation of this whole thing. And then you get the piece of flesh, that is passion of delight. And for the answer for that one is to understand birth to aging. If you understand aging thoroughly, in every respect, then no more delight. When you go for another birth also, you get the same thing. Same crappy form, same aging, same thing. So then you can get rid of this. You see, now at that particular time, what you are actually taking out, this is the universal joint, isn't it? The universal joint is now removed from that one. So that the vehicle is completely dismantled that way. So there is nothing new over here. The meditations that you have done before, what you need to do, put them in the order. So that's why we have used these numbers 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and so on. So go through those numbers when you are meditating and take out those things, and then you can dismantle the vehicle. So that's the meditation.